What's up, you guys? It's Cartier Bob. And to almost cap off the end of the year, we have one more relationship dynamics to do. But we had the gal panel not too long ago. Now we got to have the the guy or man panel. But trash opening. But we're keeping it because Cartier Bob, we don't play no games, even though we're not doing that today. But I got some friends, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves as we do the guy panel of relationship dynamics. I'm your host, Cartier Bob, and to my left,
I'm Quandre, a.k.a. Quan the One to One, Genesee Quan, whatever you want to call me, baby.
are you French?
French?
Yeah.
Nah. Straight up.
Okay.
That's just me.
Okay.
That was good. I was trying to think of something to say. Can't go after that. My name's King Cody. No, I'm just playing. It's my name's Cody. Yeah, I don't have a fun nickname like that. Cartier Ball. That was pretty good. And what you said. I mean, I'm just a shooter on the basketball court.
Okay.
That's about it.
Well, this this is the segment that is supposed to really bridge conversations of how can we get people to connect on a different relationship level, because it's actually not a gender war, it's a war on just people just living their lives. So these segments are meant to really help people like understand like what am I actually looking for in like relationships. So we're gonna break the ice a little bit. So for this guy panel, I want to ask the fellas, what are some other things we look for in women that it's not the chi-chis or the peas and the apple bottoms? What other physical things attract men to women?
Honestly, mine ain't even really physical. It's mental.
Yeah.
But I would say for a woman to have the ability to understand. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I live a complicated life, you know what I mean? So from a woman, I would need her to understand who I am, where I came from, why I do what I do, you know, what changed me, what made me who I am, the mistakes I made as a boy and who I grew into as a man, you know? So for me, it's the ability to understand.
You know, I'll just say this. I grew up with this guy, and I'm going to I'm gonna promise you guys, I'm gonna be very professional.
It's all good.
Hey, no, I'm trying to tell y'all, he's an outstanding individual. I'll tell you this, I couldn't have been Cartier without this guy. I'll just say that.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, high school, like, was a bond. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, this is fun. This is
Nah,
fun.
for real. Like, again, sometimes, like, you can kind of pick your family in a spiritual sense. You know what I mean? And, like, sometimes things aren't always perfect when you meet. You may, you know. Excuse me.
Okay, what happened? Because
No, we're not going there. We're not going there.
No. It
Not
was,
to that,
it was
not
just
to
like,
that.
you know how you meet somebody and you may see them do something. You like, I don't agree with that.
it's always
But that sometimes stop people from like getting to know somebody. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying like those
So
type
first
of bonds.
impression.
Yeah, you know
But
what I
then if
mean?
yeah, I get what you're saying. That's happened to me too.
Yeah. It's misunderstanding.
I'm like, that is weird. And then 3 years down the line, it's like, yeah, it's pretty chill. Yeah.
I'll say for me, I like where you went with that. I want to do a physical attribute and then something mental as well. I would say physically, I would say something that really gets my eyes like is like how a girl looks at you, like the eyes. The eyes tell you so much.
Nala and Lion King.
Anywho, I would say not from the Lion King. The reason why I like the eyes is like when you have those real intimate moments and they'll say like, "Oh, I really appreciate that." You can like, you can tell, and I think that's like because I'm not gonna get into like the like you can see the pupil dilates and shit like that, but like the softness in a woman's eyes of like of gratitude and just like all that, it's like it's really cool to me. And I would say mental aspect that I really appreciate is a woman that's nurturing. I'd say like that's really important. Where like if she's able to have that independent quality about her, but she also can show up as a nurturer, is very attractive. Where like when you're down, she's like, "Come here, I got you." So
Feel that. Can't go wrong with a caring woman.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna leave that in there until after. It's two things. Smile. I think a smile is very attractive, especially if they don't hide it. Because I know a lot of people can hide who they truly are, and that also comes with their laugh. So, like, let's say you're on a first date and this girl's like, all that, and then you're 6 months in dating, she brings out this obnoxious laugh. Like, I think it's cute, but at the same time, it's like, that's how I know you're comfortable around me, is when I get that real smile, that real laugh. And then non-physical, I would say how someone talks about her friends or talks about people when they're not there. Because growing up, the past couple of years, I've started to get really annoyed when people gossip around me. Because it's like, well, if they're doing that, what do you say about me when I'm not here? Or I don't want to have that brought into my life, and then I start gossiping about people. Because I just don't think it's right. I mean, obviously we've all done it, but as I got older, I'm like, it's a waste of my energy, and it's not helping anything. Yeah. Like I had screw it. I dated this girl like 5 years ago, and whenever her brother's girlfriend would leave the house, they would just bag on her and say, "You deserve somebody better. What about the girl we were hanging out with earlier?" I never thought to myself, what did they say when I left? And so it really made, like, years later, I was like, wow, I just don't want people to gossip around me anymore, because that just shows who you are as a person, and that you're always looking for something to poke at people. And yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot different than what people expect men to say, honestly.
Nah, but yeah, surrounding yourself with that type of energy is never good. You know, low frequency vibrations, you know what I mean? So I understand that completely.
Yeah. You know, I guess for me, at the point where I kind of think of that is, like, I hear that, and I guess I also am in the season of just, like, being okay with that. We're, like, having your own boundary, but also, like, you know, just some people just like live life by their own rules. And I don't know, I just be laughing at people nowadays where it's kind of like, you be still doing that? I'm like, man, you a super senior times 10.
You're a service level person. Or what's really going on with you, the reason why you have to gossip about other people. Exactly. You look at a lot of people growing up, a lot of bullies, the reason why they bully people is because they don't want people to find out what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And some bullies just want to know how to make hamburger helper.
Where's that coming from? That was so specific.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I was just like, people bully for oblong reasons. They be like, damn, I really wish I could make this hamburger helper. My mom's not home.
Come here.
Exactly. You'd be like, ah. You'd be like,
come here, Sam. I'm gonna beat you up.
Stand you, Robert.
They'd be like,
did your mom make hamburger helper? You bring me some tomorrow for lunch.
Exactly. See, people be bullying for like all the wrong reasons sometimes. They'd be like, hey, I just need some help.
But no, I understand what you're saying, but that's a deeper issue that some people might not see, if that makes sense. Like, it might seem very surface level, but if you really dig into why are you mad that you're not learning how to cook hamburger helper? Is it okay? I'm reading this book called, this is why I'm getting deep. It's called The Power of a Man, and it talks about good, bad, and ugly masculinity. And it's really making me go back to my childhood growing up and really looking at what was around me that influenced me and what was healthy, what was not healthy. And so
I like that you said that, because that's an excellent segue into our very first question, because when we were doing like the gal panel, I really want to ask questions that aren't being like really asked, because a lot in our media is very sensationalized of like, men don't do this, women don't do this, where like, you know, that's just a lot of ridiculousness, where I think a lot of this is like myth busting and informational and a little funny too as well. But the first question is, I want to ask you guys is, why do men struggle with vulnerability within relationships?
go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Well, I was watching this this other podcast. It's pretty famous, actually.
Games, I heard about that podcast.
This one's a little bit lower level than that.
I figured,
Yeah,
greatest in Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I like that. No, the topic got brought up, and a girl was asked a question: when your man first cried in front of you, did you feel the same way? And she straight up said no, because it depends what your view is it depends how you view men in a relationship. If we're going back to certain times, like, it depends what you believe into. Like, there's so many aspects of where you can pull from. But let's, for example, biblically, men are supposed to provide. They're supposed to be the provider, the protector. And if you, personally for me, if I see someone that I see as a protector and they're crying, it makes me view them differently. But it depends also where you're, how you're thinking about it. I haven't really been very vulnerable with people I've dated. Maybe that's the reason why I view that way, because I've really never had that example. But I think it's such a big trust to be able to do that, and I think a lot of guys these days aren't really trusting the women that are out there right now. I think that's valid to say, just because from what I've been seeing, women are now being the men. Like, you look at certain songs that are coming out, you look at just how that's going. It's like, like, it's now women are the one that are potentially doing what the men used to do. And I don't know. I would say it all depends on where you're pulling from when it comes down to what you view in a relationship. Because you can pull from the Bible, you can pull from personal experience. And so it all depends on that, where your viewpoint is as what a relationship is to you. But
that's solid. Yeah, I think I agree with you, but I also think, like, it's because men aren't taught. Like, a lot of us are products of our environment. And I know a lot of 38-year-old boys, that's never grown into the man that they were supposed to be because it was hard. You know what I mean? So, like, for a man to be vulnerable, you got to be strong.
you got to respect yourself.
You got to have an immense strength. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, to put yourself in that position is what people will call weakness. But, like, sometimes you can't get the proper help you need if you don't be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, again, if you continue to act tough, they're going to treat you like you're supposed to be tough. You know what I'm saying? So, again, it's like, it takes time. It takes, understanding yourself, understanding why you are a product of your environment, when you want it to change, when you want it to grow. We all are our habits. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we've been doing for the past 10 years is who we are. You want to change your habits, 21 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, So, yeah, I just don't think men were taught. And it's hard for a man to, like, accept everything that's happened to him, to say, that's okay, I'm still going to move forward. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say being vulnerable is a weakness. I'll just say it's a soft spot that we don't really go to a lot, and that's why it's not our strength.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just meant it can be viewed as a weakness.
Yeah, no,
feel me?
100%.
Like, if a man cries in front of his girl, she's only going to feel that based on her perception of you.
Like, if you're a tough guy and you're over here crying, it's like, why are you crying? Like,
you're not supposed to act like that.
You never acted like this.
It's very interesting for the both of you, where, like, I think for me was the part that comes up, and I guess I'm just trying to, like, see from, like, a woman's standpoint of things of that manner, where, like, all the things you both said were, like, very beautiful things when it comes to where that's at. Where I kind of also, like, think about it is, aren't we supposed to lead by example? Like, even though, right, because, Claudia, heard you even saying where it's kind of like, they're not providing the space, right? But don't we make the space for that too as well?
Yeah.
Whereas men, where it's kind of like, because it's almost kind of like two halves of the same coin, where, like, your partner's supposed to do that for you, but also you model how I want to be treated. Where like me personally, do I think men should be crying in front of the girls all the time? No, not exactly, but like, if some like real tough stuff happen, like it shouldn't take like in my my mom's past where like for you to see me cry. Where it's kind of like, what if I was working really hard towards something like this? And let's look at the world that we live in, right? Cody, it's gonna get racial, so apologize. So it's kind of like, as a black man, we waking up, you're like, there's a lot of people that don't want us to win. And like, that's hard every day of like, all right, trying to do this and this and like this. We have our moments. Not saying you don't have your moments, but it's like, why would I not want to share that pain with you? Because you're going to have a different perspective. Because my thing is, you're supposed to help lift me up when the world tells me that I'm not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what he was saying, it's how you're taught, how you grow up. And so I think without adding any racial things into it, it's like it just all depends on how you grow up mostly. I mean, obviously there's some things that are different, but it's how you view your mom and dad, how you view if your dad's not around, if he is around, if your parents have been divorced, and you can remember, which that was me growing up. My parents were divorced. My dad, that book I'm reading, it's really making me think a lot about my childhood. And was my dad really good example of a father? And I love the man. He had great things that I can teach when I have kids, but was he really a good father example? And was he really good at being vulnerable? Because I think that comes down to what did I see my dad do when he was in a tough spot? Did he go drink? Did he leave the house? Did he argue? Or was he able to actually sit down and express his feelings? And so I think that it all comes down to, like you said, how you were taught.
Yeah, because the biggest point is how a man fails. How he fails. That's going to show everything. You know what I mean? Like it goes back to the tie into the bullying thing. Like, when you fail, some men are going to get angry because they don't know to hurt. You know what I mean? I'll be honest with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I was like probably like 27 or something, like 26 when I actually like cried. Like, all the shit that's going on in my life, like, this hurts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because again, it takes a lot of strength to care. It's easy to be numb. It's easy to say I don't give a fuck. It's easy. You block it out. You get a substance. You just make it go away. And then you continue to do that until you lose yourself. It's easy. But, like, to care, it hurts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think I would agree with it's easy to become numb, but then that just makes those breaking points hurt even more. Because you're going to always have those. There's going to be a certain time where that substance just isn't enough.
Oh, you can never run from yourself.
No. And so
I'm not saying it's a good thing.
I'm
you can do it.
I'm agreeing with you, but that's personally for me, like you said, I haven't really fully cried since my dad passed in 2020. Like, I've really thought about it. I'm like, why? Because it's healthy. It's healthy to let out your emotions instead of build them up. But like, I was drinking a lot, like, to kind of cope with that pain. And with like you were saying, you can numb yourself, but there's certain moments at your breaking point where it's going to be a lot tougher to get out of because you've been running from it.
Habits, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to make or break us,
And that's the piece where, like, I just find very interesting where our society, where it's kind of like, it's okay to show that level of vulnerability where, like, we can go out, like, I'm going through some things. I'll go out, and it kind of goes back to what you were originally saying, talking about, like, the people you're around, where, like, the people that are around you know that you're going through a breakup, know that this has happened, and they're not like, hey, why are you doing that? Like, dead ass. And I feel like that's one thing that is not documented enough when it comes to like men and men's groups. I feel like we do a really good job of calling each other out, but it just has to be a little bit different and just a tad bit more gently, where it's kind of like, I can, in countless times where, like, we've had conversations where I'm like, oh, this is how this applies. And it was delivered, even though sometimes you can't complain about the delivery, but it was delivered in a way where it could be reached, where it's kind of like, we have this whole, like, American dream of, like, if we're not providing this, and this, then we aren't men, rather than, oh, you're hurting, you're in pain. So I just find that very interesting, because we talk about these different vices and, like, that's okay. like to be a man?
Yeah, because again, there's like a misunderstanding, like about a man crying. Like if I was to cry right now, that don't mean can't defend myself. I can't get up and work. Just because I'm hurting doesn't mean I can't continue. It's just a reaction to being a human.
Yeah.
So like I'm human and I like to cry sometimes. No, I'm just like
Okay, Tyrese.
yeah, I'm just
hey, but Tyrese was right though on the dead low key.
Yeah.
yeah, but he just didn't have
No,
to
but
do it.
that's mental. Hey, some of his mental health, but he was right though.
Yeah.
But
I would say this: when you are being vulnerable, I think you need to do it in a place that's not public.
I agree and disagree with that.
Like, let me rephrase that. I don't think you should go on Instagram and just
Yeah,
tell everyone how you're feeling, because not everyone's there for good intentions. If anything, everyone's there just looking and like being very negative towards you. And now they see you in a different light. Now they're not going to respect you as much because of what you decided to post on social media. But I think there's a place where I feel like it's kind of like a prayer closet for people who are Christian. When people will go to a certain place where they think that they can hear from God the most, or that's where they can be vulnerable with God. And I think that could be a good example for someone who's in a relationship. What place can you go to where you can just be fully vulnerable, not worry about anything else that's happening? Does that make sense?
that makes sense. And my only thing that was kicked to that is people try to control when they fall in love or when they meet that person. They're like, I want to be in Chicago. I'm going to be in a girls trip, and it's going to be at the grocery store, and I'm going to be reaching for a can of cantaloupe. No. You just can't pick that kind of stuff. Where it's kind of like I agree to a certain extent where like you got to have that place, but like sometimes when that stuff hits you, where it's kind of like it just hits you, where like obviously I think where I feel like people conflate and the issues arise is when, just like what Kwani was saying, where it's kind of like you don't think I can work, or if you let the crying have dominion over your being. But that's another point for another time. I do want to segue really quick to our next question. All right. Y'all gentlemen, y'all real well read over there. All right, y'all in tune. All right. So I hear this a lot, and I'm just curious. So we got to debunk a lot of stuff because nothing wrong being regular. Y'all are not sensationalized people. Y'all are real men in this society. Y'all have grown and y'all seen things. So let's debunk this. Do men really have a problem if their girls making more money than them? Is that a big issue? Like if your girl or girl you're talking to we talking about Elon Musk, Oprah, being like, fuck your 9 to 5. I'll take.
I'm working from home.
All right, take it from there. You
are funny.
You cool with that?
I mean, it just depends on how she acts with knowing that she makes more money than me. Because there could be some situations where it's like the woman can be the one that provides, but then she kind of attacks you with it. It's just like with men. It can be reversed both ways. So I think it all just depends on how you act with the money, because people can change once they get a couple dollars in their pocket.
Oh, that's gonna be me.
I mean, money don't change you. It just bring out who you really are.
I'm a monster. I'm putting them all on 360 deals.
Personally, the competitor in me would try to figure something out. The competitor in me would be like, okay, if you're in this position, you're in this room, why can't I be just as successful? You know what I mean? So it's just like, I would try to like just compete, just because like it's something to do. Like,
I would agree with that. But it all comes down to if you're dating them, I agree with that 100%. But if you have a family with them, you can't have both parents, gone all the time. I think that creates a really bad
home dad.
If we had kids, if we're dating, I could be like, how can we double this? What can I do so that I can make even more money? Double it, flip it,
I feel that.
send it.
I just think personally, from my experience,
Yeah.
it's just like somebody thought of Uber. And taxi went out
Yeah.
of business.
And she can give you that time because she's the one that's working those long hours. That can give you time to make your own business.
Listen a
you
little
borrow
bit
her money.
deeper, though. Listen a little bit deeper. If you want to make money, all you got to do is think. It's an idea. I can have 27,000 ideas about taking care of the kids and be just as successful or more successful. Like
I can make a cooking show based on stay-at-home dads.
Yep.
Boom.
Well, I got
Copyright it.
I got an idea for you.
What's up?
I got an idea for you.
What's up?
All right, so this is gonna happen in 2024.
What?
This is gonna happen to you. This is gonna happen to you. So, December 3rd, Rihanna's gonna break up with ASAP, and then January 31st, she gonna be in Portland, Oregon, and she gonna go to. I'm trying to think of nice. She gonna go to a nice little donut coffee shop on Alberta Street, and she gonna run into 101 Mr. Kwani himself, and she gonna take you out. She said, "I'm gonna fly you out." Rihanna.
How's she gonna fly me out? She got wings? What?
she gonna take you out on a date. You go on a date, things are great. You dating Rihanna. Do you feel less of a man knowing that she's a billionaire?
Behind the scenes.
How you feel about that?
I don't think it will work like that. I think that if Rihanna was interested in me, then Rihanna's gonna have to get with what I got going.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Okay, tell me
Invest in
more.
me.
Okay,
Because I'm not
Invest in me.
sitting here looking to like be with Rihanna.
okay.
I'm looking to be understood as a man. You know what I mean? That's really what I need from a woman. So it doesn't really matter what she has going or what she can do or any of that. Do you have the ability to understand me?
Put all that to the side, just like a man has to put everything to the side to understand a woman too.
For real?
Okay.
So, I mean,
We the 1-2 right now. We
bye,
do it.
Rihanna.
Oh shit. Oh.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm not that
Riri.
type of dude. Like, it's got to be mutual. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were talking about earlier about, like,
Speak
people
more to that.
wanting to control how it goes. It's like, nah, I move with the flow. And, like, as a man personally, like, you may know more than you, but, like, I don't follow the rules. Like, what? The rules don't freaking apply to me. Like,
Oh, yeah.
When you said when you were introducing yourself earlier, I kind of thought. Yeah, I had a little thought.
like,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
again,
yeah.
like, life is an experience. You know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to grow and learn from these things. You know what I'm saying? So, like, with the woman that I was just dealing with previous months ago, like, men do it first, right? I trust. Do what you want to do. Let me know what it goes. You know what I'm saying? And, like,
Break it. Once you break it, it's
but some women still don't have that ability. So it's like, well, I'm not going to let that damage anything I got going because it seems like a personal problem. You know what I mean? So, like, again, I just be experiencing life, going with the flow, trying to catch the frequency, and things work out. It's successful.
you got to see how many bags you're bringing on the plane.
I'll,
That was pretty good.
No, it was.
Pretty good.
I'll just say it's just, I'll just
take
say it's
flight.
just interesting because I guess it's I'll finish this.
Go ahead.
The reason why I say this is interesting is like I'm in the middle. I'm always a moderate type of person where it's kind of like it is how one of a relationship and two how the leading is going, because I don't think there's a problem with, you know, having, because my motto is you're gonna have to answer to somebody, and whether you quote unquote lead the relationship, you're still gonna have to come back and say like these are my spoils. I hunted and this is what I got, and then either your girl or whomever you're with, they're gonna have to work with what you have. Where it's kind of like if that person has a better idea, I'm with that. If it's for like the grand scheme of things, where I think the ego, where it's kind of like if you had the chick that has the ability to, let's just say, help facilitate you to grow and things like that, I think as men, I don't think we should have a problem with it. The problem comes when the demasculization of what a man can do when that comes up. And Dakota, you kind of brought it up too as well, where it's kind of like it's like a both way type of thing. But like if we kind of like look at how we kind of talk about masculinity now, where it's kind of like if a man said something, it's or has an opinion, it can be looked wrong rather than it is. This is how I view life. Where like we get like the how women have been like this and that, but like we still can't ignore that the old Kama Sutra of the yin and yang, where it's kind of like I bring something that you don't have and vice versa, and when we're together, we make things work. Now in this day and age, it's kind of hard because if we break down the figures, Fact Dragon, could you look up the percentages of like men and women when it comes to income in the United States? We're like, this is a game. So I would rather figure out a game with a person who knows like when I have it, you know, I just need to give me the key to the city and watch me open up the doors. And if you're already there where you can give me one of them keys.
Yeah, and it comes back to what I said earlier. It's all depends on how that person acts towards their partner when they have all this. Like if you're a rich man and you're dating a girl and you're like, no, I'm the provider. Like I bring the money to the table. What are you eating? You eating things that I bought. It's like
Captain.
It's like that could be the same thing with dating a girl that has more money. It all depends on how they treat you, even though they might be ahead of you right now. Are they gonna respect you as a man and be like, hey, I know I make all this money, but I want to understand what you do, who you are,
yeah,
and how we can do this together. It all depends on how they act with money. I think that's the main thing. Because finance is, like you said, it can bring out who you really are.
Because if we break it down, like literally, because I know I appreciate you guys for the promo that you did, where like people like talk about like you can't take me to the Cheesecake Factory, you can't take me into this, but like if we break it down, if we run a survey of the people who went to Nobu, Roof Chris, all this other stuff, right? Having that really does determine how successful your relationship is going to be.
That's it.
And that's it.
I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. Ladies, the list is very revealing. It's like you guys told on yourselves.
I can't take you to church.
First of all, this is a human experience. I need to know who you are. Why should I have to spend money? Why can't I just talk to you and get to know you? And like, then if you make me feel a certain way, we could do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. But like, saying what you will and won't do sounds like you ain't got nobody doing it for you. Like, what? Because like women that have men taking them to where they want to go don't complain about these things. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think the two things that come from me with that, right, is I think when it comes to if a woman is really trying to get to know that person, really doesn't care where you go. They're interested in the person. And then for the people who created the list or however it may be, right, I think there's a different way of saying, like, I just want some intention and creativity with the date. We're like,
you can be creative without spending a lot of money, though. It shows what they're looking for.
Exactly. And I would, you would respond differently to the list if someone's like, all right, what's the effort behind? Because who knows? It's so easy to be like, all right, I've learned these few things from talking with you. I can add that to the date. Like, the things that you guys said is just added expertise to me. I've learned you. So like, I feel like asking someone to be intentional and creative, that's not that's not an issue, but like demanding that it has to be this and that, that's where I'm kind of like, oh, I get what you're saying. It's telling, where it's kind of like there has to be someone to step up in that. And we are, before you go, we have a fact. Thank you.
Am I unmuted? Sweet. Also, what is the yin and yang of the Kama Sutra?
I just butchered that. Anywho, I know I'm great.
Any chance of revisiting
No.
that? Or? Okay.
No.
So, per Pew Research and U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, you're talking about income between men and women. Mm-hmm. So was it weekly income for women? Where did the number go? So weekly income for women were about $958, and men were about $1,059. So about 82%. Women are paid about 82% on average. If that's what you're looking for.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Again, like all this adult stuff, like money and all, bro. When you was a kid, you like seen a girl, you liked her, and like y'all start liking each other. What is everybody else talking about? Everything else is like the cherry on top. It's like it comes along with it. You feel me? But like if we can't have a mutual, genuine connection, what are we doing anyway?
And that's why I enjoyed Fact Dragon pulling that out for us, because like at the end of the day, like I know they're going to say 50K, this, and that. We're like, because a lot of this stuff that goes on Twitter and Instagram is like a war on the middle class. It's the war of middle class dating. We're literally making the same amount of stuff. The people that we're talking about are in a different tax bracket. And like my thing is, you're expecting this lifestyle from this different tax bracket. So that's why when you do, like you guys heard, like the numbers aren't that different. So my thing is, you're not settling for someone good for something that you can actually create. But that's my whole little bit. But
Yeah, there's a person on TikTok, and this person asked this other person, I'm not going to say if they were man or woman, but they said, how much does this person have to make for you to date them? And this person said $400K.
I've seen videos like that.
And it's like, I don't think people understand, like, it's a small percentage of people even making.
Buying a business?
It's a small percentage of people even making under 200K. Like, right, I think it's either if you make over 150,000, you're in a different area, and that's only 150K. That's, in today's world, that is not a lot of money. The way prices are these days.
Yeah.
But what we could have together, priceless. Now, the night capping off, gentlemen.
That was good. That was good.
Hey, I've been working on my segments, because I am a social entrepreneur, reminding people the importance of relationships. Anywho, so one thing I really appreciate about the gals panel is like they really talked about things that women should be doing to step up. And like one of the things I thought that was kind of in there is like, it's kind of hard to like speak for all women and what women should be doing, where it's kind of like what those women thought. So I want to get with you gentlemen think, because we've heard a lot from X, Twitter, whatever you call it, Instagram. So for a man to start dating, or even going into marriage, what do you think a man has to be? What do you think he has to do for him to even consider to be ready to start dating?
I would say have a goal-orientated destination. Know where you're going. You know what I mean? Like, again, all this social media got everybody caught up off the wrong things. Like, again, I'm a 90s baby. Used to have to pick up the phone and roll that motherfucker around. Sometimes you would have to visit that person to talk to that person. So things meant more. This instant gratification. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's like ever dating, all this shit is going to be ruined until we choose to get back to the natural things. We're depending on these things like, oh, you didn't repost this, or you posted this, you liked her picture. You're going to tell me what my thumb did? Oh, so many men are getting in trouble because of this. That's wild to me. Like, you're a grown man. Like, it's Instagram. That's what you do. You like people's pictures. I don't know. But
Even ones with the fat booties and the titties, and they're like,
what else is on Instagram? If she don't know that you're in your bathroom doing what you do with that computer, then what did you talk about?
there's a lot of other things on Instagram. Mountains. Inspirational quotes.
I'm
Basketball.
saying in the world that we live in, things aren't really being promoted like that. You know what I mean? Like, we all know that sex has been selling forever. Like, again, it's the world, man. Like, if you don't know how to navigate through this, if you don't know how to have discernment, if you don't have morals, values, and you're not disciplined, then yeah, you're
So
fucked.
so you're training when you go on Instagram where you're like, ass, scroll, titties.
No, I mean, it don't do that for me. You know what I'm saying? Instagram is literally like half of these people aren't happy, bro. Like, why can't we see what's really going on? Like, they want you to see what's going on with them. Like, if you're happy, you're not tripping about nothing. Like,
Some people don't want to really know what's going on in that other person's life. They just want to kind of numb that by just scrolling and liking.
man, Instagram is a place to be nosy.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
I'm not gonna. So go. I'm not gonna message you.
You can't, bro.
So will you tell me what my thumb do?
There's not a lot of Instagram. Trust me, there's
I'm
a
just
whole
saying,
lot.
people have lost whole relationships over you liked her picture. That is crazy.
What if it's her ops?
Bro, do you know when a person sees something, he thinks what he thinks, and that's who he is? Like, what are we talking about right now?
Based
Like,
on how you act on it. Like, you might like the picture, but are you looking on their profile? Are you DMing them? And
Ask him that.
all of it is public information.
So
You feel me? So all I'm saying is like, if a man is choosing to do what he's choosing to do, don't get mad at him, leave or accept him for who he is. That's all I'm trying to say.
that was
That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay,
a
I
good
see.
point. He wrapped that up.
He wrapped it
Yeah.
up. So you was
Oh yeah, it's little
Okay.
breadcrumbs.
okay.
We'll get there.
Hey, so you get a close up on this deviant.
To go off that, it could go the same way because trust, obviously we trust. I feel like men are able to trust easier.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, the way the world's going right now, if I start dating someone, I'm like, you have a backup. I just need to figure out who it is.
Wow.
Everyone has a backup.
Wow, y'all are some sad, strange little men.
Does a football team have one quarterback?
Wow.
Does a basketball team have one
And
quarterback?
this is why I do what I do.
No,
This
it's
is what-
that goes in my mind sometimes, unless we have a great connection. But if you're meeting somebody and they show some interest in you, that it's just like when a guy likes a girl's post, it's like, oh, well, he likes her. It's like, I think men sometimes think, what do you have? Everyone has a plan B these days.
Oh my! I'm gonna say this right now. When I go to your wedding, I'm gonna pull that Andre 3000 line on you. I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna remember this moment.
Hey, all I'm trying to say is,
Let me finish. I used to CC every girl that I used to CC around town. I'm gonna do it with the flute. I'm gonna do it with the flute, nigga. Because I'll just say this. I hear what y'all are saying, because if that's what my thing is, what I feel like a lot of people don't understand is like a lot of dudes were like, if you're doing that kind of stuff, there's a lot more women that are willing to accept that. There's no I'm too much of a man to hide. I'm sneaking around, not at all. But even that mentality, with you, where like someone always has a backup plan, that's like someone saying like a meteor is gonna hit the planet. Like it's just.
Well, is that baggage you're bringing into the relationship because something that happened to you before? That could be another question.
That's the question I would ask you.
And so that comes down to what my point was going to be. Do you love yourself as a man?
Interesting.
Because if you don't love yourself, how are you supposed to love somebody else? When you don't see your glass is half full, how can you fill their glass? And that comes down to baggage from the past. That comes down to how you were taught growing up what relationships look like. Obviously, I think you have to love yourself and have a plan with your life. I think those are the most two important things. And it shows. Like, you could say you have a plan, but over time it everything gets revealed over time.
And that's why, to be honest with you, and that's why I feel so passionate about the things what I want to do, where it's kind of like, I either want people to be like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm about. I can get with that. If you think the sky is purple, purple it is. But for the people who are like, oh, that truly and really want something, and they're like, oh, these other things are happening or have happened, I think we both on both sides have to put down the weapons and like really like lean in and believe that the process is possible. Now, the reason why I'm bringing all this stuff up is this man to my left has tasked me with the job, and so many other people have tasked me with the job of reminding people that the things that we want are very simple. And the simplicity is, I don't know many people on this planet that don't want someone. And that comes from the sacrifice of something that's greater than our ego, greater than I think this is going to happen or I think this is going to happen, rather than I'm willing to be vulnerable to trust this person with that. Because at the end of the day, when people get hurt, we make the overcorrection of I'm never going to be hurt again. And that interrupts you from actually potentially finding something that truly works. So like, I know he wants 7 women and live on a farm and grows up. I was like,
I've lived with 6 women before.
I know,
I've already done it. Like,
exactly, for the love of
I'm just saying, like, I
you
don't
got
know.
a reality TV show, huh?
When it comes to it, it simply comes down to insecurities, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So all this Instagram, social media stuff, you sound a little insecure to me, sweetie. That's just how I think. You know what I mean?
That's
because
fair.
a woman secure with herself will never trip on her position. When she knows what she does for you, you know what I mean? Like what she brings to the table, how her energy connects with you, like she's not going to trip about no other woman. You know what I mean? Like
Same thing.
exactly. Because again, like she can have 17 dudes. My job is to show you you need this one. And then you could, you know.
Or, yeah, I agree with that. Or she needs to know if she decides something else, she knows that with who you are as a man and your values, that decision is never going to happen again.
Yeah, because again, what I'm trying to say is like she can have a backup or whatever. Everything with men is competition. We're not going to sit up here and act like it's not. You know what I mean? Like if I want the girl and you want the girl, it's a competition. So I don't really care who she's dealing with, and I'm going to show you who I am because I want to be accepted for me. So that's the thing, you know, if I'm looking to be accepted, I'm never going to be tripping about nobody else because I'm looking for something that's tailored for me. So, again.
We can go ahead and delete what I said earlier
No,
for about 2 minutes.
you could.
That's a really good point. It's why don't we all just like if every man wants to date a girl, we just go to a basketball court and play one-on-one.
Said compete for her love.
Hey,
Game to 7, all ones.
Dudes would be in the gym training.
And if I'm losing, I'm gonna go
Run
get
it back.
No, I'm gonna go get my backpack.
Yeah, right. For white boy can't jump.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'll be right back, guys.
You are stupid.
He's like, who won now?
Yeah.
Nah, because again, you got to think about how women are. You know,
They actually like to see competition too. I feel
they grow up thinking they're supposed to be Cinderella. Princes are supposed to come, and she's supposed to pick the one that she likes the most. So it's like, I'm not mad at the game. That's how they were taught. So we understand how we all come up, and then it gets easier.
Hit the gym after that. That's a good point. And I haven't thought about that in a while. It's competition. My competition is that's what I'm trying to bowl now. So I'm in the bowling league. I'm trying to get it back.
You get
Anywho, I'll just say this for men who are watching this. Totally different perspectives up here, and my thing is, just because they're different doesn't mean there isn't harmony. Because there's something for everyone. But I think the thing that if you're really listening to this episode, the theme is like, if you aren't walking and being your purpose as what you define what masculinity is, what you define what your personality is, you're not going to find that tailor-made person for you. And my thing that I feel like what these gentlemen are just saying is just like, you have to find you. Because if you don't find you, that relationship is not going to define you. It's going to put other things on you that is not needed. So
you ain't gonna have no peace if you don't find yourself. It don't matter what you're doing or who you with. None of that matters. If you're not okay with you, there's never gonna be no peace.
And I think the most important thing is, as we end today, I just want to say thank you, gentlemen, so much, because it's not about othering people for how they want to, because there's not one way to build and live family. It's about how you figure out where your direction and path is. And I think we kind of captured that here today. So it's got to be 30 seconds or less.
I've been reading now, and I think reading actually helps, especially reading something that makes you really think about your life. Okay. It's called The Power of a Man by Rick Johnson. It talks about using your influence as a man of character and figuring out good, bad, and ugly masculinity. And so it's helped me out a lot. So if you guys need something to read that's going to help you out, I would recommend that.
Well, this is Cartier Bob without the Cartier just yet. And I've had these strong, powerful, vulnerable men on the show today. And we appreciate you dropping by. Peace.
Probably wondering if I think of you. Sorry, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, for the bag that I never had. Yeah, you probably mad right now. Yeah, I got a 2-piece now. But shit, I think they call them groupies now.